Alright, Dan, this is your lizard board on the bench. It's completely back together and ready to fire up and see if it works. The board has all new connectors all around. It has new ROMs here. The old ROMs were tossed. It has new sockets for all of the socketed components as well. And the board has been cleaned up, and what we're going to do is we're going to fire this on the bench and see if the board boots. And the way that we do that is in Game Plan you need 3 different voltages to boot the CPU board. You need 5 volts, 12 volts, and 28 volts. Now my power supply that I'm going to use here only has 2 of those voltages, 5 and 12 volts, but there's a trick where we can simulate the 28 volts and then see if we get all 6 flashes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shut the light to make it easier to see the LED, which is here, and then I'm going to fire it up, and we'll get 1 flash on the LED, and then when I jump this wire to pin 3, or actually this resistor here is just easier because it's right there, we should get 5 more flashes. So if we get a total of 6 flashes out of this LED, then we know the board booted, and we know it will work in a machine that has a good power supply. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to test all the inputs and outputs and make sure that it actually works in a game. And usually if you get it to boot, you're like 95% of the way there from the standpoint of the board working. I have not changed any of the socketed components that were on this board save for the ROMs. The ROMs I tossed. They're garbage. They're not worth it. This board has been set up to use the standard 2716 EEPROMs. Any guy who's in the ROM business can burn you a set of ROMs for a Game Plan game. It's very easy to do. It's not a big deal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shut this light. Excuse me, let the camera adjust a second, and then I'm going to apply power to the board, and we should see a flash come on the LED. And here we go. And we got 1 flash out of the LED. So now I'm going to touch this here, and we should get 5 more flashes. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we got a total of 6 flashes out of this board. That means that this board is booted. So if this was in a game, an actual game, it should then be in attract mode. I'm going to do it one more time so you can see it and see that it actually works. So I've taken the power off. I'm going to apply the power again, and we get 1 flash, and now I'm going to touch this here. 3, 4, 5, and we got 5 more flashes out of the LED. So right now this board is good, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it in a machine, and I'm going to actually test the game code in a machine and make sure it fires all the solenoids, that it works the lamp matrix, that the switches all register and switch test, and all that other good stuff. And that's pretty easy to do, and if I find any problems there, then I'll see what needs to be addressed. But the chances are, as I said, 95% that this board is good and can go back to you. Okay, thanks.